Hi everyone, Claudia here from Light and Clarity. This week's question to Spirit is, what is the answer to a question that you have deep down inside? What is the answer to a question that you have deep down inside? So I'd like you to feel into who would have this message for you today. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, or Archangel Jophiel. So without further ado, for those of you who chose Archangel Michael, I shall bring him in. Thank you. So he says, I want you to be aware of what is beneath the surface here. He said some of you have been telling yourselves a little bit of a story. It's like you've been not really looking properly at whatever this is to do with. It's like you've told yourself a story. He says we need you to look deeper. He also says, I want you not to expect that everything's going to go in a straight line to do with whatever this is to do with. He says there are going to be some twists and some turns, and they're going to be quite sharp, some of those twists and turns. He says you really, really need to trust intuitively your own self. Without a doubt, he says, we want you to trust your own intuition, your own compasses, including the decisions that you will need to make. He says, not everybody around you is going to agree with the decisions. Not everyone around you is going to see the points of view that you see. He said, that is okay. You are the only one that needs to see it, even if that means you're leading the family, whether they like it or not, even if that means you're leading the partnership or you're leading the business or you're just leading you. He says, it is important. He says you're going to have a wider scope than what you've had, and you're going to see the answers come in to do with some of the extra questions that you have. He says to do with certain situations, and from there, he says you see clarity and you head towards the answers. You head towards moving through them. So he shows me about 4 or 5 questions that will be that you've sort of got lingering besides this one that you've asked, but that you've got lingering that you're going to move into. You're going to see with clarity what those answers are, and you're going to move through them. It's like you find those roads and you don't dilly-dally. You actually move through them very quickly. You find those roads very quickly and you move into them very quickly. Once you see them, you move into them very quickly. He said, start at the beginning. He said, step up to the plate, start at the beginning. He says, some of you are wondering, how do I get started? He said, start at the beginning. He says, make sure you're placing what it is that you want in front of you. Make sure you're crystal clear about it. He says, your intentions will create this. Your intentions will bring in what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that this is regarding. He says, be clear in your intentions. Some of you are coming up to that point right now where you are being clear in what it is that you want, over a particular situation. He says you're going to be unfolding in it. He says you're going to be quite strong. So he said, please be clear on your intentions as you head towards the answers, as you move out of where it is that you are. All right, I'm going to thank Michael for coming in. And for those of you who've chosen Archangel Gabriel, I shall bring him in. Thank you. So Gabriel says there's been some sort of a done deal that will be coming in or has already come in. So some of you already have the answer to your question, and others of you don't. But when the answer does come in, he says this is it, this is the answer, and it's a done deal. These are the words he uses. He says that life's going to look very different from where you are right now. He says there's going to be a big change in your point of view, to do with how you look at life, to do with how you live life. There's just something around that. It's going to be different for each of you, but he says there's going to be a change. It's going to be a point of view of the way you look at life. So the way in which your understanding is now is going to be different in the time to come. This does come from a need to shift from where you are. This does come from a need to shift in order to bring in certain goals, in order to even move away from certain people, in order to even bring in new energy. So I'm also seeing that in terms of work, some of you changing careers, some of you giving up small businesses that you've owned, and some of you moving into different roles to do with work. So he shows me that the mindsets are going to change as a result of that. There's going to be a need for that. So Gabriel says he's right now assisting a lot of you, especially those of you to do with your roles in your jobs, whatever those jobs are. He's actually quite entrepreneurial, which I do know that he is. I don't often speak about him like that, but I do know that he is. And he is assisting. He says some of you have somebody perhaps on your at work that work with you or work under you or work above you that are a little bit difficult. They're quite persistent in their behavior. They're not really authentic when they speak to you. They're a little bit false as well. He says you're already on to that, so trust your instincts with this. So he says you've got this, all of you. He says, I want you to continue moving in your self-confidence as you move into the different life areas, believing that you've got this, knowing that you've got this, trusting those instincts. He says it's going to, certain things will clear up for you. Especially for some of you, there's been some big things that you've just not understood and said, why is this occurring? How do I move through this? What do we need to do here? He says you will work out a strategy and you will move through that. You will move that out of your life. It's not going to remain, he says. He says, keep forging forwards. I am here to catch you and I'm here to assist you. The roads are being laid out for you. You have your ability of choice and choosing what is it you want to accept on your own and that which you will not. I'm going to thank Archangel Gabriel for coming in. Okay, and for those of you who chose Archangel Jophiel, please bear with me while I bring them in. Thank you. Oh, I had Jophiel stepping forward. I'm just going to make that connection stronger. So Jophiel talks about networking, making those important links that need to be made to do with the goals that you have, to do with the directions you want to head in, to do with career, even to do with meeting new people. She says the way in which you start is with the first link, making that. So she shows me a chain of links being made. She says, make no mistake. The answer is yes. There is something that some of you have been turning over in your minds as to whether someone is who they say they are or whether something is the way it is. She says, feeling into how it is you have been feeling towards that particular situation, the particular person. She says, your instincts are correct. Your instincts are spot on. She says it is important that you follow your intuition. So she says, no more wasting time and walking in a circle, as some of you have done this for a while. She says it is time to step up in your courage and to be courageous, not to bring in any more blocks that are to do with excuses as such. And I say this in a gentle manner through the guide, Claudia, for she is too polite sometimes. We are with you, my dearest ones, and we watch how each of you struggle. We say this across the board. Know that as you venture forward, know that as the new ideas come in, they are indeed divine inspired. They are indeed being brought in from a higher place, for there are contracts to be fulfilled. Life lessons that as such will be brought forward. Your holy teams are within each of you and stand with you as we bring forward what it is that you have planned for yourselves. We say to you to not fear. For you are wondering, some of you, which is your next step? Where is it you're meant to go? We say to you, all will be revealed and all will come in as you step forward. Trust in your footing. Trust where the energies are taking you. Follow and trust, for you have and hold the answers within you. You already know what to do, and I say this directly to you. Search within yourselves. Follow your compasses. There may be for some of you someone who will come in to assist, for you will consult an expert within the fields as such. You may even be with someone like a spiritual advisor as such. The roles in which the guide Claudia plays, the roles in which there are many that play. We say to you that you already hold the answers within. Trust and listen as you move forwards. I am Jophiel and I am here. Okay. I'm going to thank Jophiel for coming in and channeling through me. I didn't expect that. All right. Okay. Happy weekend. Many blessings. I'll see all of you again next week. Thanks, everyone.